Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play Marvel Remix. It's ages 12 and up, 2 to 6 players, and it takes 20 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to have the most points in your hand when there are 10 cards face up in the discard area. For game setup, we have a 3-player game set up here. You give each player, you deal out 6 of the standard remix cards, and then each player gets 1 villain card. And at the end of the game, in order to have any score at all, you need to have at least 1 villain, you can have more than one, and at least 1 ally or hero card to win. Otherwise, the total sum of your hand is 0. You choose a starting player at random. We will pick this person, and I'm going to flip their cards face up, even though no one else would get to see their cards at any point during the game. Now, there are certain aspects of each of the cards, and I'm going to bring up the section of the rules that talk about the card anatomy. They each have a name of the card. Then there's a type of card. This is a hero card, but it can be hero, ally, condition, equipment, location, maneuver, or villain. Here's our villain down at the bottom. They can have a base power, that's your points for the card, and tags on the side of the card that represent their abilities and affiliations. They're on the side of the card, and this is a special card that can transform and must transform, in fact, if you have the conditions that would allow it to do so. And if a card transforms, if in the case here of Tony Stark, you have 2 or more of the Intel cards with an Intel symbol on them, then you get to switch it over to this side, and now instead of worth 3, it's worth 8 points, and it is now Iron Man. And so that's the last part. You're supposed to check on the overview, the text at the bottom of the cards. A lot of cards have text on them that just very simply tell you what you can do with that card. On your turn, you have one of 3 options. You can draw 1 card from the Remix deck and then compare it with everything else in your hand and pick something that you want to discard face up to the center discard area, and then you would have no one else would get to see your cards. You'd place them in front of you. Or you can pick for the Remix deck. You can pick from the villain deck if you want. If you do not like your villain, there are different things the villains do. For Loki, at the end of the game, you draw a card from the Remix deck and subtract its base power. So it's some fun chaos, very Loki of it. And if you think, I don't particularly want that, I would like to pick out a different villain card and see if this one is better for me. In this one, you have the Abomination, and it's worth 13 points, but it's negative 20 unless you have 2 of these 2 strength tags on your other cards. So you could choose to keep both of these and discard something else if you like both of those villains. You can have a lot of villains in your hand if you want. Just whatever maximizes your score. And then your third option is you can pick from the discards. If this player says, I can't believe they discarded Jean Grey, I am very happy about that, you can pick up Jean Grey and place a different card out here instead, and that works. You can do that. And so you're just picking between the Remix deck, the villain deck, and the discards, and keep on going until there are 10 discards out here, and that's when everybody tallies up their score to see who has the highest amount. Let me show you what the end of the game might look like. We'll say that it is this player's turn. They're going to draw a card from the Remix deck, and then they don't want that card, so they're just gonna discard it down in front of them. There are now 10 cards ahead of them in the discard area, so game over for everyone. It doesn't matter if everyone had an equal number of turns. Once there are 10 cards out there, game over. To begin, first of all, this player has Kingpin as their villain card, and this is blanked unless it is an urban location. It has a location with this symbol on it. And if they look through their cards, they have, this is their only location, and it is not urban. And so this card is blanked, which means they don't have a villain card, and it's very easy for them to total up their score. It is 0 because they have not fulfilled the obligations to be able to score at the end of the round. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. For this player, what they recommend you do for adding up your score is to first just add up this top corner number as long as the card hasn't been blanked. You add these up on a sheet, and then you check each card individually and look to make sure if it has fulfilled the different qualifications. So this one is minus 20. You'd still get the plus 14 points, but minus 20 afterwards, unless there are 2 or more with the I symbol, and they do not have 2 or more with that symbol, so then they would write negative 20, so it's negative 6 for that one. This card is worth 0, this location card, but it has plus 5 for if you have DNA symbols on other cards, and here's one, and here's one, so they would get plus 10, so this would be worth 10. So you go through card by card and sort that out. This one gets plus 3 for each of the DNA symbols and already has 4 at the top. So now you get to, there's a special card that I want to go through, and for Avoid Crossfire, if you have range symbols on other cards, you get additional points, and it determines however many cards there are with these symbols on them determine how much each symbol is worth, which isn't that tricky once you've done it once. So here's one card with a range symbol. Here's another card with a range symbol. And here's another one. However, this is blanked unless you have a hero with agility. They do not have a hero with agility, so this doesn't count. So this, you just don't worry about that card. It doesn't count. So it counts as you having 2 cards with a range symbol. So each symbol then is worth 7 points. You have 3 symbols, and oh wait, no, they have 3 still. Oh, they still worked out okay. So wow, they're getting a ton of points. Then each one is worth 9, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So 9 times 4 is 36 points. So that helped them considerably. So you go by that and then just total it up, and whoever has the highest amount is the winner. So that's how to play Marvel Remix. The target demographic for this game is anyone who likes a nice little card game. Kids who like Marvel movies will be very excited to play a game like this, but also adults who are maybe so-so on Marvel. I've seen a few of the movies and have enjoyed them, but it's not a theme that I really care particularly about one way or another, and I thoroughly enjoy how this game plays, and I would be happy to play it over and over again, so it just kind of works for everybody. The rule complexity is maybe medium the first time through, especially if you're just looking for a light card game. There's a bit to figure out for the first time, but after that, it's easy. You never really have to consult the rules again. It's very straightforward, and if you have somebody who already knows how to play, it's very easy to teach to other people because the basic of the game is so straightforward. Just try to have the most points at the end. How competitive is this game? It's low to medium. There is just one winner. It's whoever has the most points at the end, but there is minimal player interaction. You're trying to maximize your points, and you're just drawing cards and getting lucky with what comes up, or working well with what you have. And there are a few things where maybe you're holding on to a particular card if you know it might help another player. In general, if I have Mjolnir, I am hesitant to discard it because it really helps in a couple of situations for certain people. So depending on what you have, that might be the one thing that you do, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of hurt feelings at the end of the game based on, oh, I can't believe you did this, or you were doing this and that impacted my score. It doesn't too much. It's just how you manage your own hand. The replay value is high because this is just such a nice little card game that appeals to so many different people. This is one that we take with us to go out to restaurants, but is easy to just like play on the bed in the evening or to take to a friend's house and teach it to someone really quickly. The player count is really great. 2 to 6 players is really helpful, and it does seem to play. I enjoy it with more players, but it still plays well at 2 players, so it's very versatile. This is one that gets a ton of use. If you like this game and are looking for other games like this, Love Letter Infinity Gauntlet is the Marvel version of Love Letter, and you're trying to knock out your opponents and be the last person standing. And in the Marvel themed version of Love Letter, you have teams, and you have the Avengers versus Thanos. And so it's a really fun take on Love Letter, and it's a blast to play. And if you're just looking for like a nice little card game, kind of this level, Scout is very popular. And it is a game where when you pick up your cards, you don't get to reorganize anything, and you're trying to set out sets and runs and get the most points. And the manner in which you do it is it's really simple to understand the basics, but it's really fun and strategic when you play, so it kind of feels along the lines of this. But we've been loving Marvel Remix, and you should check it out. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time from Game Like a Mother.